Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm here with Ali, who does data science at a top tech company in Fang. Ali, thanks for joining me today, man.
Sure, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, I think a great place for us to start would be before we worked together, what was life like? What was some of the challenges or frustrations you may have been facing?
That's actually a very good question. And when I think back about the time that we haven't met yet, I think my biggest frustration was that I was not respecting myself as much as I would have liked. So many situations I would have considered myself kind of inferior, not really knowing my value and not knowing where should I stop and think about have a pause and say that okay, no, I'm better than this, why should I continue this? I think that was my biggest frustration, and that was something that many people have pointed out to me, but I didn't really know how to address that. So that was the point that we before we meet and start talking about.
Yeah, I totally know where you're coming from, man, where a lot of times it can be hard to recognize our self worth and to give ourselves the love, respect, and attention we need. And I think you've definitely come an amazing way in that respect and area.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's all with your help.
Appreciate you. The next question I wanted to ask is before we started working together, what were some of the hesitations you may have had, anything you may have been skeptical of, that kind of thing?
Not to be honest, actually, like you for me at least, you came across very genuine and really like caring about me. So I was really like put trust in you, and I usually like put trust in people, but you showed that I could keep putting trust in you without breaking my trust. So I really didn't have any hesitation opening up to you and starting to take advices from you, because you really, as I mentioned, you came very genuine.
Awesome. I really appreciate that, man.
Thank you.
And the next question I wanted to ask is as we started working together, what were some of the breakthroughs or improvements you started to see in life and in yourself?
I think the biggest breakthrough and improvement was that I really started to appreciate myself, because you started to tell me that like I am worth. I'm worth something. I'm good. I started to realize what I could offer, which is, for example, kindness and being a genuine person. So when I realized that, then I thought that, oh, okay, so when I get into some communication with someone or in a relationship, etc., I bring my own values. I bring some value to the table. So that really like started to make me feel much better about myself, and also the prospect of life, and also starting to see that okay, I bring some values. If other people also bring some values to the table as well, for example, for a relationship. So I think that was the biggest breakthrough for me.
Yeah, and that's huge, man, because we all have our own unique ways of standing out, adding value to life in ways we represent ourselves. But if you don't notice that, then you won't see that you're amazing in your own way. So I think you've come a long way in that aspect.
Excellent. Thank you.
The next question I wanted to ask is so now that we've been working together for a while, what's life like now? How have things kind of changed for you? I'm wondering, kind of like a big picture aspect.
Oh, actually, life is much better now. In the big picture, I think like the biggest change in the life for me right now is the self confidence that that I pose right now. I know, like, when I start a conversation with someone, I'm not hesitant. I feel much more comfortable with myself, being myself. Because before, one of my uh, big problems was that I was trying to adapt to the person, to other person. But now I am starting to see value of being me, and people seeing me as being me and want a real me to be around them. So that's really big change in my life right now.
I love that, man. Yeah, it's way better to be polarizing and really pull in the people who appreciate you for you and kind of push away the people who don't. But that's how you're going to build your deep network of friends, relationships, and things like that. So that's amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The last question I wanted to ask is, what would you say to people who are maybe on the fence about working with me and investing in themselves?
I I would say that the, I myself didn't realize the value of investing in yourself until I saw the improvement. And then that was the time that I started to read more myself as well, and listen to more podcasts or pursue the materials that are really good for self-help. And I think the value of investing in you is that one of the good things, like great things about you, is that you always have a reference about what you're saying, which is very important for me. Is that it's not just coming from like some random like thoughts. It's all coming actually from like reading from a source material, from like a reference that then it's, I think that that's coming back to your previous, one of your previous questions. I think that's also helped me build trust to you, because every time you said, oh, this is coming from this author, this is coming from this podcast, this is coming from this book. So I realized that you do your due diligence before, so I could trust in you.
Thank you, man. Yeah, no, I definitely want to make sure advice that I'm giving is tried and true, referenceable, and that way it's going to work for you and others. So I love the call out there. And I just wanted to say thanks for joining me today, man, and appreciate you answering these questions.
Thank you very much for having me.